Okay, so what I'm going to do now, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to draw or to write in some text on your screen. So think of this screen as a some type of a platform that you're looking at, but it has depth. In fact, you can think of it as it has depth, kind of like a cube, like you're looking into a cube, you know, hollow, clear colored cube. You can go deeper, you can look more shallow. So this is the screen that we are looking at. And in order to draw a text or write a text, first command you do is you go to this area here on your top of your screen. Of course, I'm in the home tab and the ribbon there. Go to text here. If I leave my mouse there and let it sit, it shows a little explanation of each command. If I go here, it will show this command here, pulls down a little bit more information on it, and so on and so forth. But in the case for the text, I'm here. So it gives me a little explanation on what the text does. But if I click on this area, this pull down section, it shows multi-line or single line. Multi-line, single line. And the difference between the two, multi-line is for typing in like a paragraph, a larger section of notes. You can set the font and things like that. This one, single line, is just for putting in a word, maybe a number, a short phrase there. And for most of what we do in this class, we will work with single line text. So I'm going to click on text and then click on single line. And it changes now. Now my crosshairs cursor section there, it says specify start point of text. And then there are some numbers to the right of that. We'll worry about the numbers later. For right now though, it's just saying where do you want to put your text. I'm going to put it right here, click on it, left click. And when I click on it, two things happen. One, it changes the height. It changes the question. It says specify height, right? But it also attaches a kind of a string, it looks like a string, to that point. And that's just a marker to help us know where the text is going to start. So now it's asking what height do we want. I'm going to type in a height of 4, okay? And then push enter. So we're going into 2 or 3 steps to do this. Now it asks another question. Specify the rotation angle of the text. And by rotation angle, they mean what direction do you want the wording to go. And for reference sake, just for this first one, I'm going to put 0 angle rotation. And then it gives me this cursor. Now I'm still in the text command, but I'm looking at this cursor. And so I'm going to type in a word, leather neck, and then I'm going to write in, I think it was a 4 unit height and 0 degrees. Okay, 0 degrees. And then after that, when I'm done, I push enter and escape. Enter and escape, and then I'm out of the command. There's no command here. So this is the wording that I put there. Now, let me try this again, just to show you the sequence again so you can get used to this, practicing this. Text, single line. This one I'm going to put here. And then I clicked, I want it to start here. And then it says specify height. This height I'm going to put as a 2. Push enter. Rotation angle, I'm going to put 45 degrees. Let's see how that's different from the 0 degrees. And I'll push enter here. Notice that when I push enter, it shows the font or the cursor. It's going up at an angle. So if I write WIU and then 2 unit height, and then push a comma, and then 45 degrees. Push enter and escape. That gives me that WIU. Let's try that again. I'm going to do text, this time single line. I'll go over here. It says so I'm starting at point here. Then it says specify height. I'm going to make this a height of 1 unit. Then the rotation angle. Instead of 45, I'm going to do 90 degrees. Push enter. And notice the text here shows like it's going forward, left to right, like we normally read. And then if I put in Dr. Stone, which is my name, push enter and escape. See how it does it at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Now, let's say you have some letters here, and you want to edit it. Let's say I typed in Dr. Stone, and I forgot to put in my unit height and my degree. So one way to edit, you go on to the little text there and double click it. Just double click, and it brings it out in this highlighted mode. And then from here I could either retype it or move it around. So I'm going to retype it, Dr. Stone, one height, high, and 90 degrees. Push enter, and it automatically goes back. Okay, so let's try a couple more. Text, single height. We'll do this one. Let's start from here. This time I will do a height of 2 units tall, and then rotation angle I will do 180 degrees. And let's try this. Online course, 2 high, 180 degrees. Watch what happens when I push enter and escape. It puts it at that direction, right to left. So you see, if you put 0 degrees, it's left to right. If you want it to go vertical, facing one way, that's 90 degrees there. If you want it to go 45 degrees, it's this way, 180. And let's say, I'm going to push escape a couple times. I've selected all of these letters, these items. Push escape 2 times. If you ever get stuck somewhere and you're not sure what's going on, just push escape 2 times and then start over. That will get you going. Now if I want it to go facing downward, reading top to down, can you guess what degrees I need to put down? Hopefully, I'm putting single, hopefully you guessed 270. So start point here. I want my height to be 3. And then I will type in downward. Oh, excuse me, it's asking me my angle of text. We'll go the angle of 270. Then I'm going to type downward height, I hope I said 3, height of 3, and 270 degrees. And I push, you see how it helped me by moving the screen over. Push enter and escape, and there it is, downward, height of 3, and I'm moving this back here. I'll show you how to move that screen back. Downward of 3. So you can see the different degrees typing. Also a little bit about editing. You've learned about that. If you click on it 2 times, you can go in and change this. Change it from height to high. Okay, and when you're done, you can, I think you can either push enter. Oh no, excuse me, you can just click off of the edited place. So I've taught you how to write the letters, set it, whether you want it up or down or right or left, and then how to edit what you have. Say I wanted a space there. Right there, I can put a space and then click out of it and it's done. So you've got some basics here on letters and text, and now we can go into the lab. For this next lab, which includes the drawing of a football field, I'm going to pull up a football field just to show you what it looks like, at least from a perspective of a few different drawings. This is from sportsknowhow.com. There are several fields out there, but the American football field is roughly, in terms of yards, it's 120 yards from one end of the end zone to the other end of the end zone. And what that means is it's 100 yards from the 0-yard line to the 0-yard line plus 10 on each side, which totals 120. And then the width of a football field is 53.33 yards, or 53 1/3 roughly, give or take, a few inches. But we'll keep that in mind. Also it lists, in feet, 160 feet. For this assignment, though, we're going to keep it in yards and go to the text of it. The text says the following. This is something you can download. It says, a football field. Look up online the dimensions of a standard American football field and draw a field grid in AutoCAD. Scaling is 1 AutoCAD unit per yard, and all lines must be exactly correct for full credit. Also include the following: your name, section number, and the font height, which should at least be 5 units high. And then any large numbers along the lines as shown in a standard NFL field. A section for an end zone should be in your drawing, and 5-yard increment lines. Also, if you want to, if you can, put your favorite football team or high school team, college team, whatever, on each of the end zones. I'll show you an example here in large text in the end zones, and then fill it in as best as possible as you can. So move that around in there. Also, a question that always comes up is, do I need to include the hash marks? Now, the hash marks, and I list here that you don't. The hash marks are the marks that run along the numbers. Let me see if I can pull up a better football field. Okay, and you don't have to draw it green or anything, but this is a typical football field. It's a little bit harder to see. In fact, let me go to this. This is one I like. Nice and clear. You can see it's 53 1/3 yards this way, 100 yards from the inside of the end zone to the inside, and then you have the red area, which is the end zone. Hash marks are these little tiny lines that run across this way and here and across the edge. So don't worry about hash marks, but yes, I do want you to put in the lines for the dimensions of the field. Also, I want you to put the numbers, like 40, 30, 20, 10. And this, oh, and then the name of a team here and a name of a team here. You could even put your name there and there. It doesn't matter. As long as you practice putting the drawing, the text in and listing it in the right direction, one way and the other way. With that in mind, you can draw your field. I'm going to show you a quick example of how that can be done. From here, you can either type in line and start drawing your lines. Make sure your ortho is on. This is the ortho that makes your line straight. So let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Draw a line here, and I'm going to make it 53.333 because that's the width, right, of the field. And then here, I'm going to go, let's start with 120 because that's the full length of the field in yards. Everything's going to be in yards for this assignment. Then go back up to 53.333 and back this way. I'm going to join it back together with the beginning, and I'll type in 120, but I can also just left click the mouse there. Now from there, I am in the field. I have a rectangle. Let me move it closer and zoom it in. This is my full football field. And from here, you can also type in line, or I'm just going to type L this time. L gives me the line option, and then I'm going to push enter. So now I'm in the line command set, and I'm going to start drawing lines going zigzagging back and forth. So here, the end zone is 10 yards. Then I'm going to go down, and that's 53.333. And then this way to the right, it's another, actually it's going to be 5 yards. And then it goes up 53.333. And then to the right, 5. And then back down 53.333. And so on and so forth. Up 53.333. Until you keep going zigzagging back and forth until you're done with the field. Now I'm going to stop there just to show you again back to the field that I've shown you on the screen before. You can see I'm doing the 5-yard increments here, and that will get me to the end. Now when it comes time to doing the lettering, remember I said to put it at least at a 5. So when you go to text, I'm not in any particular command right now, but when I go to a text, type in a single line. I'm going to put my numbers outside of the field. This might be helpful to know. Put it outside here. I'm in the text, single line text. Start point out here, and I want to make sure my ortho is. We'll keep it off for now because it helps with setting the numbers. My height, I'll put it at 5 units high, and rotation angle. Because I'm going to go left to right on these first set of numbers, I want that to be 0. Remember the numbers for 0. And it's going into the text mode. From there, I can type in 10, push enter and escape. And here, I have my first set of numbers. I can highlight, and I can move. This is the move command here. I think I mentioned this before. Click on it, and then click down here, and move the 10-yard line over about, I'm going to zoom in while I'm in the command there, 10. Okay, so that's the 10. I could, and let's just say I had all of these lines there, I could also do another text here. Let's do text here. Start point there, put a height of 5 again. This time my rotation angle again 0. And I'm going to type in 20, push enter and escape. So that would probably end up going right about here, just based off of the football field. You see the 10-yard line, the 20-yard line. So I'd put that there, but let me show you a trick with a new command called copy. This is the copy command. If you want to take any object or text, make a copy of it, you can do that. So here's how it works. Type in the copy command. There's more than one way to do it, but this is one way. Click on it, and then select the object you want to copy. In this case, it's going to be this lettering, this number. So I select it. You see how it's turned kind of bluish? It's a little blue. It's a little hard to see, but that tells me that I've selected that. I could select more items, but I'm going to stop now. So I push enter, telling it I'm done selecting. Then it asks me to specify a base point. Now this will be my marking point, where if I click on it, it will make several copies of it. As each time I click it, it will make a copy. So I could do this. I could go 20, make copies. Every time I click, see I'm left clicking. Now I could, let's say I had all my lines in here, I could do this and go 20 and then 30 and 40 and 50 and 60. Notice I'm saying the number, but it's not actually doing the number. What I have to do after, and I'm going to push escape to get out of this command, escape 2 times. I could come back and double click on here. Excuse me, let me double click on the other. I could double click on here and change this one to 30 and then enter. And then double click here, 40 and enter, and 50 and enter. Okay, so you can see I could copy and paste all of these numbers in there and make that change. And one more thing I want to point out before I set you loose. You know, you're going to do lettering, how we practiced before. If you want to, you can copy a number. Let's just say I'm going to copy this one here, this set. So it's light, nice and blue, a little light tint of blue. Now instead of just, well, when I'm done selecting objects, I push enter. Now before I actually select my base point, I'm going to put the ortho mode on. It's down here below. And so watch what happens when I select my base point. I click 20, and no matter how I move my numbers or my cursor, my crosshairs, it stays on the same line no matter if I go high or low, or it'll go directly above at you know, exactly above. So I could make exact copies spaced along the same line. And that way, I'm going to push escape now, they come out a little more straight. Instead of this set here, a little bump there, it's not quite as straight. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Now remember, I'm looking for numbers here, and then on the upper section, numbers going back that way, kind of like this drawing here, but they're upside down. So remember, the degrees that you put there, you're going to want to put that down. And that is basically your assignment. Follow those instructions there, and good luck.